Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're taking a look at the live versions of the battle mission from Street Woman Fighter Season 2. So I do know that there are multiple facets to how the criteria works. We have a Section A, a Section B, and a Section C, each with different requirements, and so for this, we're going to be taking a look at each crew's individual sections. I'm pretty pumped about it. It's going to be great. I've already analyzed A and C from all crews, gave my thoughts there. If you're curious, I'll tag them below in the corresponding sections of these videos. Definitely intrigued at some of the results I've already been hearing about, but I'll get into that whenever I get into the analysis. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, round one, Jam and Leadybounce.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You all are so wonderful. Oh, 메가프로다 완전.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You all are so wonderful. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You all are so wonderful. Thank you.
I love that. The energy.
So wonderful. Psych.
I love it. It's and hit her right in the face. That was really good. Look at her. She's like, oh my god, I hit her in the face. There's just got justice galore in this thing. It's so good.
저격이네. 제대로 도발을 하시네.
I'm Audrey.
I was surprised.
I was surprised.
와, 깔끔해. 미쳤다. 위에 달린 게 카풀이야? 나로 고생한다.
That was so good. Okay, keep framing the camera. I see what you did there.
와, 진짜 이를 갈았다.
I bet a lot of people are very surprised by what they're bringing because I know they did not get the best results from the interim reviews from a lot of the crews. They did not come to play. They're giving their 150% on this. That was good.
Republic.
뭐야? 큰 거 온다. 두 명만 나와? 와, 이렇게 간다고?
I love the fact they went with two people. That's such a freaking risk.
자신감이 느껴졌달까?
It's definitely probably such a culture shock for everybody there in that audience, which is the risk that they're running right here. But they're showcasing a side of dance that a lot of these people in this audience have not seen before.
We have something a little special.
Is this different? Oh, this was not in the original.
진짜로? 물 퍼포먼스야?
step into the water. Oh my gosh. Come on. Yes.
와, 그냥 둘이서 찢었네. 이거 우리가 이겼다.
Wow.
I am confident that we will win.
Wow. Okay. We gotta talk through this one. Okay. From the top, and let's talk through Ladybounce. I'm not really going to focus as much on content as I am about the overall other aspects that encapsulate because of a live audience and judges. Because the energy is going to be different in comparison to whenever they're just in front of a camera. I've already analyzed the choreo in the content, so you can go take a look at my analysis there from when we had to do the global votes last week. And I love the fact Ladybounce did this. What a start to their set. I really don't think they could have said it in any other way. That was so good. And I think it really set it up well. And she accidentally hit Kirsten in the face. I know that wasn't intentional. That was hilarious that happened. See, you can tell by your face that she hit her on accident. The energy is really fun. Yeah. I just love this. And before I get into this, I do know I think people have already helped me. The fight judges voted for Jam, but the audience voted for Ladybounce. So I do want to talk about that. I understand why that happened. And because when you look, we first have to start from, not everybody in the audience is going to think this way, but we can't ignore the fact that this is a possible reason, okay? I'm not saying that this is not my actual reflection of how I view this. Remember, very different scope. I try to look at these very objectively. It's really not my opinion when I say this. We cannot discredit the fact that some people in the audience are going to prefer people from their home country compared to international people. That's just how that is sometimes. If it's the room or the majority of the room are Koreans from Korea, some people in the room may go in, automatically know I'm voting for Ladybounce, regardless if Jam Republic brings the house down. Is that fair? No. But you also have to remember, these people are not adjudicators. These people are not, most are not professional dancers. They don't have an empathetic eye to the degree of difficulty that both crews are bringing to the table. So we all as viewers need to understand that and give the audience some grace, and honestly may need to really take a look at how the weight of scoring is with shows like this. It's been a huge thing for this whole thing. The weight of scoring for global votes and for the live audience is crazy in comparison to the fight judges score. It really feels like, this is just my personal opinion, it really feels that the fight judges are kind of there as you know, to be judges, but the weight of their vote is not nearly as extensive as the audience and the global vote. So I've already kind of gone through who I think is going to take the global vote. I really feel like Jam's going to take that. But when you take a look here between Ladybounce and Jam, Ladybounce, it makes sense why they took the audience vote. That may be one of the reasons. Another reason, when you look at the digestibility of what they're bringing, it's very gimmicky. They're doing the assignment. The energy is there. They're very clean. They are registering intensity similar to the level that Bebe brought. And that, I feel that Bebe also took the live audience vote, would be my vote for them as well, because of a lot of things I've already mentioned with watching them and their choreography. They brought so many great moments here. The intensity that they brought was awesome here, but they were also very energetic and very powerful whenever they, of course, when they did it in the camera. Also note this too, when a lot of people are watching Jam, they're watching Jam because they're fans of Jam. They may naturally know, oh, Ladybounce is against them. Let me go watch and see what Ladybounce does. That, honestly, Ladybounce being up against Jam may have helped their viewership as well, because people naturally want to see who their favorites are up against, right? And vice versa with Ladybounce to Jam. Does that kind of make sense? So I want us to know that Jam getting paired against, Ladybounce getting paired with Jam, I really think it improved their popularity to some extent. We can't negate that either. You know, there's just so many components that are just involved in this that makes this very complicated very quickly. I love that they put that in there. It was such a vibe when Audrey did it, and I love the fact that they did this here, and Audrey was like, that was good. Honestly, for me, I would feel seen, right? I'd be like, oh my god, they thought about me. It's kind of fun. And having Capri up at the top, that energy there, just be able to have that control is really nice. The energy and power, so great. I love it. Ooh, yeah. It's just their power is really fun. They're all on the same level of execution, and that is a big thing for a crew that you need to have. That was really cool. I know the camera keyframed it, so a keyframe is the camera. They edited the camera to where I was able to follow exactly where they wanted you to follow. So I did like that, but is that a true representation of what it looked like? I mean, you can look at the global vote version and see there. I really liked that moment. I've already talked about it. But that's probably why the viewers that are watching the live version, that's probably why it felt that way, because it's a still shot of the camera. Really fun. Brought it around. Yeah, it's just very enjoyable. Ooh. And just how that energy there. So it's such a strong start from Ladybounce. They really couldn't have done it any better. I really think that was amazing. And now we got to talk about jams. I loved how they went about it here. I love the live version. I knew I was going to expect to like the live version. Now, I don't know if the live audience votes for all three or isolates their voting between each individual section. I don't know that. Here's what I will say about this. I know that Latrice and Kirsten said, because theirs is one of the only excerpts of the show that I can watch without subtitles because they speak English, right? They were saying how they wanted to show another side of what makes Jam Jam is the fact that they're able to dive into so many different aspects of what they do, and it's awesome. They wanted to take a sexier route, really accentuate the hips and let them know this is how you do it and this is what we can do. And they know that they're one of the only people that can do this on the show, period. And they're probably one of the very few that have ever gone through the series as a whole that can do this style. I love that they're operating out of 2, and the fact is that it made it so close of a call. And I think the judges, I personally, out of the 2, for this section in isolation, the risk that they took and what they chose to do here, I think it's a super close call. And if the judges voted for them on this, it wouldn't shock me at all, because when you look at the difficulty of the syncopation that they're doing, it's Afro, right? And it's just a hybrid too. I know there was with Paris, she would call her style polyswag. It's a mix of new, like Polynesian culture mixed with Afro. And then you also have to think about the music. So it's like a flow of her cultural perspective. I do remember Paris talking about this. Kirsten has been saturated in that for a lot of her career. So naturally, that's going to be how she attacks her movement. You know, and I know a lot of people have been saying that Latrice was kind of bogging down out of the 2. I disagree with that. I really think that with both of them. Do I think that they're matching 100%? No, they're not. But when you think about the style, I mean, you gotta understand, it's already difficult enough to get the syncopation of the hips down that we're going to see later. So when it comes to some of the ways that they're interpreting it, a lot of it's from an implicit state. So the fact that we're even able to see it at all, come on, guys, you know? And I really love the fact that this audience, I've already said it when we did the initial reactions, this audience, a lot of them, this is the first time they're seeing this live ever in their lives. And I love the fact that they are comfortable enough in themselves as artists to be able to demonstrate this. They're demonstrating Jam Republic. It's a big risk. And honestly, this risk may have cost them the live audience vote, because this audience may not understand the difficulties that come with doing this style. You know, when you do something different or innovative, you run the risk that people will not understand it and they will not vote for it because they don't understand it. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what comes with the territory. And I think they knew that going in, you know? for them, they're already sitting in a pretty good spot. I know that they ranked pretty decently in the Hwasa mission. So they're hitting in the top tier there. And here, I mean, I don't know who ends up winning. Some people are saying Ladybounce won this. And then we're just having to factor in the other scoring to see if Jam will be safe. But I will be shocked if Jam does not make it into the finals because of their consistency throughout the whole show, as well as their global popularity. They're one of the most globally popular crews that we have ever seen on the show. So I will be shocked if their global votes alone may not have helped them because of the weight of the global votes, right? And the audiences. I really don't, like, that's when it works in your favor immensely, you know? The energy and the presence that they have is great. And let me just say, Kirsten, her vibe and her look here is incredible. I love it. I mean, Latrice too, but it's yeah. So I'm saying the same thing that we've seen before, that I've said before, just the energy that they're bringing is an energy that no other group on the show can bring to this stage period. They can't. Even the judges, there's not a single judge on that platform right now that can do that this way, to operate with two people. They can't. You know, and that is another thing to be said. Do you think the judges honored that? I think they did. And as a judge, when I look at the difficulty of what both crews brought to the table, I really think that they brought something very innovative. It would have been a very close call to me, personally. And how they're hitting this, they are taking a huge risk of artistry, just like Bebe took a huge risk on their mega crew perspective. You know what I'm saying? Just look at how they're responding. This is very different than what any other crew can do. That right there. Body's on the floor. Latrice's body's on the floor. She's hitting wordplay here, you know? Now, that's just little notes here. They're committed to their positions. So even though Kirsten's arms are down and Latrice's arms are up, they wanted to go sexy. Here's sexy for you. You know what I'm saying? This, honestly, I think is cleaner than their camera was. At least the energy-wise, I think the energy is compensating for the same degree of cleanliness that it is, and that's what you need for a set like this. And I really, like, that right there is mad tricky to do. I know she said that was really sexy. Look at the culture shock that some of these people are experiencing, and I think that was their point. You know what I mean? Mission accomplished? I think so. So even if, worst case scenario, they have to go up for eliminations, which I will be shocked if that's the case, and if so, it is what it is, and we're going to see some incredible stuff. They made history, you know, at least in this show's context. And I think that's really cool. And this world, the people who vibe with the Street Fighter series, they got to be exposed to a style in a way that they've probably never been exposed to before. And I think that is the main goal that Jam was bringing to the table. And I think that's really important. Like, you know, Latrice and Kirsten are really matching the same level of energy here. And so that's why I go back to what I was saying before, is that some people were like, Latrice really held Kirsten back. No, that's not the case at all. And I don't agree with that. I think they filled in each other's gaps very well. Now, Kirsten has a certain way of execution that we can't negate, and that really helped her hit certain pockets of this in ways that, for Latrice, she still hit those pockets, but she just hit them differently. And, you know, I feel like they were okay with that, you know? It's a competition, but it's also, they are staying true to themselves. This right here, wild. Wild. Like, look at that. You little ding right there. Goodness, Ling dumped water on Kirsten. Dumped it. In the water. They were in the water. So freaking risky, but look, they don't know what to do. That was wild. That right there, wild choice, and I think that was kudos to that. That was crazy that they made that choice. I love that. That right there, notice, like, just kind of hitting there. When you notice Kirsten, here's why they look subtly different here. Kirsten, how she chose to hit her head involved her chest a little bit more because of how she chose to go about the tension of the repetitives of the head. Latrice did it more of a nod, if you look here. And that's why it looked different. But also, Kirsten has less hair, and how the hair texture comes across looks more extroverted than Latrice's. That's another little thing too, that hair does play a role in that too. Yeah. I love that. So that's why there it appears that Kirsten is engaging more aggressively in that section. It's because of how she's holding her tension whenever she's executing it in comparison to Latrice, and how they're going about the repetition with the head. Yeah, but they also had the fixed point, and they still had the extremities. That all of that was in check, so it was clean. It was just all about the micro texture choices they made, you know. Just the energy. Yeah, I really love what they did there. It was wild.
3, 2,
yeah.
1.
That's freaking close if I were to ever see a close call. It really was, because you have innovation, a style that's not really represented in this context often, and you see it done authentically with a strong foundation, with risks and disarray is what I would call it, right? And then you have, you know, with Ladybounce, you have it's clean, high energy, something that another crew I think was rewarded for. But that crew was not up against a crew like this. You know what I mean? So I feel like I think it's a legit toss-up for that first section. For different reasons, you know, it's more preferential at that point, because are you going to honor the innovation and the difficulty of the syncopation that you're bringing to the table and the authentic pocket that was explored? Are you rewarding people who, you know, they took different risks and they dissed throughout the entire set, and you can see the intention and you can see the imagery and citing of their sources? You know, I really feel like both of them had very strong attributes that make either of them competitive. But I do understand why, if we're just isolating it to this battle, why the audience may have chosen Ladybounce and the judges chose Jam. I do see that, but also I still have 2 more sections at this point in time that I have to take a look at, because I know I've seen one of them already in at least the camera version, and I don't know who's battling who, you know? But I think this was exactly what I was hoping for, and I'm very thankful that both brought their best, because we got to see the best, and it just makes me so excited that this is now documented as a part of the Street series. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. I know with these particular reactions, I am focusing more on other aspects outside of just the content. I am comparing the analytical version of what I watched with the camera only versus the live, and how things have changed. And I know a lot of you have done the same. And honestly, I feel like with some of my votes, it kind of is up in the air because of different factors and different aspects outside of just the content we're watching. But I'm really thankful for the fact that I'm able to do these, be able to discuss alongside you guys, and be able to interact with everybody in the community, both on YouTube and on Patreon. It is all so humbling for me, of the fact that I'm in a position where I can actually contribute anything helpful for others who enjoy the show just like myself. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.